Humility is an important asset for anyone to have, and we really need it today, because when we saw the tech drawings for this bike, we said that it was going to be a new Roubaix. It isn't. This is the new Specialized Sirrus Carbon. This is an adventure bike, a flat bar city bike, a town, a fitness bike. It's never going to see a cobblestone. In fact, the only ones it will see are down the local marketplace. And if you find yourself on a velodrome, you're probably going to be lost. But while it might be easy to dismiss this as just a flat bar bike, it might have frame design implications for future road race bikes. And that makes us very excited. Should we take it for a spin? Well, that was a quick spin. Now, I'm not about to get into reviewing this bike. We're seeing it very close to its launch, but we will be writing up our thoughts, so keep your eyes on BikeRadar.com for that. Instead, I want to focus on the tech that we have here, then we'll take a look at what this seat tube situation could mean for road and gravel bike design in the future though. First, let's park the bike somewhere over there so that I can tell you 5 things that you need to know about the Sirrus Carbon. This is what Specialized is calling a compliance junction. It's there to improve seated comfort. Now, a big hole here means that this is a 1x only frame set. Tyre clearance is 42mm, though if you want to run mudguards or fenders, you're limited to 38mm. Speaking of which, you can fit full-length guards to this, and it is compatible with MIC pannier racks too. Specialized has continued to offer its Future Shock system up here for extra front-end compliance over rougher cycle paths and gravel. Now, the Compliance Junction is the headline feature on this bike, and I'm fully expecting it to be met with love from some and, well, disdain from others. Specialized says that it's been designed to have just the right amount of flex and forgiveness across the carbon frame without sacrificing performance and efficiency. This, it says, results in category-busting ride smoothing. Adding to the comfort and the bike's versatility is the space for the 42mm tyres. Boosting your tyre size is an easy way to take the sting out of potholes, drain hole covers, and anything else that you find in the city. But not all rides happen on paved roads, and many riders will be looking at this bike as something for lighter gravel duties. In fact, there are 2 models in the Sirrus Carbon lineup. The Sirrus Carbon 6.0 is built for town and city riding. Here you get a 12-speed SRAM GX Eagle drivetrain with a 40-tooth chainring and an 11 to 50-tooth cassette, along with Specialized Roubaix Pro 32mm tubeless ready tyres. The Sirrus X 5.0 meanwhile is tuned a little more to towpaths, broken surfaces and gravel. Specialized bumps the chainring down to a 38-tooth for slightly easier gearing and fits the Pathfinder Pro tyres in a 42mm size. The claimed weights for each bike are 10.9 and 9.2 kilos respectively. Although there's nowhere to fit a front derailleur, the Sirrus Carbon design does offer many bottle cage mounts. The smaller extra small and small frames have 3. One on the top of the down tube, one below the down tube, and one at the top of the top tube. Larger frames also have a 4th on what remains of the seat tube. You can also fit a rack and mudguards, although both need to be of a specific design for compatibility. The rack needs to be of the MIC system, and the mudguards need to be the Specialized Drytech numbers. The 2 builds will come in at just under and just over £2,000 and will run alongside the existing Sirrus and Sirrus X alloy ranges, which retain their normal seat tubes. So that is the new bike. Should we pop back to the studio to ponder the future of bike design? Now, before we start to dream about radical frame designs like this one in the road racing world, the UCI might do its usual party pooper act. We're not certain by any means, but the fact that this isn't a standard double triangle design will probably see it fall foul of current UCI frame design rules. That said, there are plenty of road bike categories that don't necessarily need to be UCI compliant. Take, for example, endurance bikes. These machines used to be wheeled out of the shed for races such as Paris-Roubaix, where the wider tyre clearances made them a better choice than the team's standard race bike, which often tops out at around a 25mm tyre. But those standard road race bikes now offer room for anything up to a 32mm tyre, which is ample clearance for even the harshest cobblestones. Teams are therefore reaching for the endurance bikes less and less, favouring their more aero road race frames. As a result, the endurance bike category could soon be freed from the shackles of having to be UCI compliant. As Specialized is claiming the new frame design's purpose is to aid comfort, the endurance bike category, which is there to provide riders with long distance machines, would be an ideal place for such a frame feature. Should Specialized want this design to be available to its racers, the UCI does actually have a history of allowing some stranger designs. Just look at the Trek Madone SLR's ISOFlow seat tube hole. Or how about the power pyramid design on the older Cannondale Synapse? Then there's a whole lot of fun going on in the triathlon world, but the UCI does actually ban most of that. Considering how such a design as the Sirrus's would influence aerodynamics is also crucial. Even on an endurance bike, you don't want to introduce a ton of drag. Efficient munching of miles is the goal after all, and aero aids efficiency. Theoretically speaking, if we wanted to optimize this frame for aerodynamics, the shape of the bracing tube would need to be changed. Then the space behind the tube and in front of the rear wheel has to be considered. This isn't an issue per se, nothing is more aero than, well, nothing, but how the air flows into the rear wheel would have to be carefully considered. But there's one even bigger problem standing in the way of this design being used on race-orientated bikes. Back when we first saw frame drawings and we thought that this was going to be a Roubaix, there was one big red flag. Would Specialized really make a road race bike, and one of its most successful models, a one-by-only design? While one-by drivetrains are common in the world of time trialling, there is still some resistance in the road racing world. Some pros, such as Trek's Lizzie Deignan and Lotto Destiny's Victor Campenaerts, have adopted one-by drivetrains, and it is with the latter rider's setup where we see the most potential for change. Campenaerts uses a classified power shift hub to get an effective 2-by drivetrain, and this is something that Specialized and other brands could do in the future. Classified power shift is a 2-speed gear system housed in the rear hub, effectively replacing a front derailleur. While an increasing number of brands are starting to partner with Classified, Specialized has been a brand to do things on its own terms. Can we see them fully embracing the system? We're not sure. But would you like this frame design to come over to the road bike world? And which subcategory would it suit best? Let me know in the comments below. And as ever, remember to like this video if you liked it, subscribe for more from us, and we will see you in the next one.